Alright, you know what? Today I'm doing a special action. If we can get 1,500 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away 250 XRP, period. Alright, if you want to enter, 3 steps, make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. And only today will it be 250, normally it's only 100. Also guys, make sure you check out the Discord, it is getting livelier and livelier, check it out. Alright, first of all, $860 million worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and other coins liquidated in one day. Now, this is actually very interesting. I said before on the channel here that we may have a bullish pennant going on for some crypto, and things are generally looking pretty damn bullish and positive. However, it's pretty interesting to see how people get liquidated whatever side we go. Because logically speaking, it doesn't matter if the market moves up or down because people can always get liquidated. But it's also kind of funny to see how people like to take these losses, right? And people are always out for blood and hungry to go for it. So Singapore-based Huobi stands out with the largest single-day liquidation worth a mammoth $6.02 million in Bitcoin, which is insane. For somebody to lose that, that's a lot of money. And generally just a lot right now has been liquidated, which means, again, some crazy heavy spikes and dips are going around, even though you would kind of not think so, right? Because if you start to look at CoinMarketCap here or Live CoinWatch, it kind of looks like all day was really flat, like there wasn't really much happening at all. But I guess if you took at the bigger picture or look at the bigger picture, it went from about 18.8 or so to about 19.5K. Here it says there's a 3.05 range within 24 hours, but it might actually be a lot more on some exchanges, which again has caused a lot of people to lose their money. You can see right here, it actually fell down to about 18.1 on a certain exchange on Bitstamp here, which is pretty damn crazy to consider. All right, Ripple CEO, super hopeful of Biden administration, will hold off exiting US and no IPO for 2 years. Ooh, okay, that is very interesting for that to come out right now. I was not expecting that, and that's definitely something from a different corner. So basically, Ripple had these plans to leave the US and move out. And a lot of us are really happy with that because, well, if they were out of the US, they were kind of in the clear for everything. So them not leaving right now because of Biden administration and them being so hopeful of it, I don't personally think that's a very strong move. But hey, I guess they like the system the way it is right now, which I think a lot of you guys are not going to like, that they're supportive of it. However, I don't really have much to say on that note. I just know that right now is a pretty interesting situation. And eventually, I guess, we'll see what's going to happen through the IPO and stuff like that. Would I buy Ripple stock? Most definitely. I would definitely splurge a little bit foolish on that stock. And I guess I'm still pretty positive on XRP regardless, because I don't think anything is really going to be affected right now, even with all this happening as we speak. So, I mean, everything's looking good in my opinion. Now, there was some research going on about a university who said that Ripple's consensus is dumb. Basically, that's the point, and that it doesn't really work. It doesn't reach true consensus. And David Schwartz came over to Twitter to actually state that their research is kind of based upon thin air. Because if you think about it, maybe you guys didn't know what the research was about. Well, the research here comes from the University of Bern, and they basically said that Ripple is insecure, it can't truly reach consensus, and thus it's vulnerable to attacks. David Schwartz, the CTO over at Ripple, and a lot of other guys have said, well, this theory is first of all based upon thin air because they're talking about a hypothetical attack, which David Schwartz also said is very hard, or nearly, not necessarily, but nearly impossible to pull off. It's very, very hard. And if you think about it, all networks can be attacked in a certain way, shape, or form. It's just not worth it to people. If you really want to destroy something, you're not going to do that because you just want to destroy it. You're either going to do it for money, but let's say it costs $1 trillion and your maximum money that you're going to get back is $400 billion. You're definitely going to not make that idea, right? If you're over the next couple of decades, you're only going to be making back $400 billion in, new profits at all, and it costs you $1 trillion. You're not going to make that trade. You're not going to do that if you logically think about it. Even if it really gets rid of your competition, if it doesn't bring you that much more money, and if it's that much work, and if it's so expensive, you're not going to do that. And I guess no company really could be doing it either, because whose shareholders will approve of this message? Like, we're going to try an attack and we're going to spend $1 trillion, for example. Yeah, it may work, it may not work. We'll see. hypothetically it should work. I don't think any shareholder's going to be like, yeah, that's what I want my company to go to. You know, that's put my money to work, baby. Put it on. Yeah, let's go. I don't think anybody ever thought that. So this whole idea here doesn't really make a lot of sense. I've talked about it before on 5-Minute Crypto though. The next one, Swiss central bank trials new type of digital currency. Very positive again. Huge steps are being made right as we speak. I'm very positive about that one. Worsening US dollar, inflation metrics bode well for Bitcoin's continued rally. Bitcoin's price has nearly doubled in the past 8 weeks as several major publicly listed companies bought the crypto to hedge against an inflation-led decline in the value of their cash holdings. And this one I've said before is so huge. A lot of companies right now are buying heavily into Bitcoin, and I've assumed already a little bit earlier that this is right now, all right? This is just for right now, but eventually they're going to be hoarding into XRP. I've said it before. I think XRP applies applies to a lot more companies, and a lot more companies are really on that same line of wanting it. So on that note, I think a lot more companies will be eager to work with XRP over Bitcoin. The only problem is right now Bitcoin is actually better regulated than XRP is, but I think that's just a matter of time, right? We've already seen the Stable Act right now come out and kind of stable coins being cracked down and pushed into the ground. The next thing will kind of happen for all these independent ERC20-ish coins and tokens. And eventually it's just going to be, real coins left with real utility like XRP, for example. And the fact that XRP is a real currency in that sense also puts it ahead of the competition by quite far, by quite huge margins, if you were to ask me. So I'm pretty excited about that. But also, again, I've talked a little bit earlier about this, how there's a huge supply crisis going on right now. And, well, I'd be damned if everything turned worse right now. I mean, everything is looking bullish, and there's really no stopping this bigger move that's happening. Even if we fall back down to 16,000, the whales are in, the billionaires are buying, the $1 trillion in crypto are going to be coming up. I almost have no doubt anymore. It's like a zero doubt situation. Phishing attack poses a risk to the Ethereum wallet MetaMask. Blockchain analyst firm CipherTrace has identified an uptick in posts about a malicious version of MetaMask. CipherTrace has identified a malicious website posting as MetaMask. The URL of the apparent phishing attack redirects users to a website that looks almost identical to MetaMask. One Twitter user raised his concerns about the website with MetaMask in a tweet. So if you guys don't know what MetaMask is, it's a way to store Ethereum and Ethereum coins, or tokens, I should say. And well, apparently there's a new, I don't even know if it's a new extension or a new website, because those things pop up all the damn time. I've at least covered that on the channel 50 times or so over the last couple of years. The amount of times that MetaMask was under threat, or that people try to hack others or phish others through attacks like this, or phishes like this. The thing is, just make sure you watch the link properly. Make sure you check if it's the official website before ever downloading an extension or anything along those lines. Just make sure you watch everything well. Also in the comment section, guys, I'm never going to tell you guys to go check out a trader or text a number. If it looks like me, it's probably still not me. It's most likely a scammer. Be careful. Get as much Bitcoin as possible with Great Reset coming for global economy by Max Kaiser. The host of Kaiser Report, Max Kaiser, and Stacey Herbert, I like that surname, Herbert, look at how heavy gold buying in Turkey is causing fiat currencies woes. Wait until the Turks discover Bitcoin, they say. Quote, well, let me make this recommendation to countries around the world, as this idea of a global reset is being talked about by the IMF, says Max. According to him, there will be a sit-down with the G20 nations or G7 nations, and they will do a reset of the global economy, and they're going to do it largely based on gold and gold ownership, which is one thought. A gold standard based again, or possibly just a gold ownership based reset then. Because we can actually talk about a gold standard in two different ways. However, we don't know, maybe he means a third way, which we've not discovered or talked about before. It's determined by gold ownership. No, I think he just talks about a gold standard again happening. The Great Reset, how a lot of us have mentioned it or thought about it. Quote again, but I would say that this to Turkey and to every other country, when you sit down to the reset table with the IMF, have as much Bitcoin in your back pocket as possible, or you are going to be miserable because that's the only stick you have to leverage. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that quote. That's a pretty fun one. So yeah, if you're asking me, I still think there's a reset coming where, well, this debt that has been accumulating for so long, they need to find a solution. All right. And whether or not that's going to be XRP, we cannot tell. And the theory with that is that governments would buy XRP on the low and then eventually come out and say, well, we have adopted XRP as a reserve currency or something like that. Again, those theories are not as obvious. However, they would help out for the price, of course, if any of that were to ever become true. A lot of people have commented, though, that a country would never accept that. The US would never do that. One thing you're forgetting, though, is that XRP officially is decentralized and it owes ties to no country. Again, officially. So if any country had to pick one coin to go for, I mean, every country, like there's a couple of examples I can make, but let's just bring the real example here. Every country is going to, of course, pick their own currency or pick their own CBDC because, well, you want to have the most amount of power, right? And that's the only fair bet to go for. I mean, you logically don't want to entrust it with another country because if we all can vote, you're, of course, going to vote for your own. There comes the thing, though, that there could be multiple entities who would want to go for neutral ground, like, for example, XRP. And even though this is not trying to ease you guys into or even tell you that a reset is coming with XRP as a middle, some of the theories actually make a lot more sense than we give them credit for. It's not like they're all bad. Not necessarily, at least. And by the way, I also made a guide on how to claim your Spark. If you don't know what Spark is, just check out the video I made on the channel. Just scroll down on my channel, you'll find it. It's pretty simple. Then, guys, I've also talked a little bit earlier about the supply crisis that's going on right now, but I don't think that people have gotten the severity of the issue. All right, this stuff is so bad that within a couple of years here, really within a couple of years, there could be so little Bitcoin left in circulation, or even XRP in that sense, that all of us that have one at least, or have, a couple of XRPs could be lucky to have gotten that. Because we're not considering enough how big institutions will be buying into this and never giving it back. All right, they will only be allowing to transact it on their platforms, which would just take away from the real utility of these coins. And that's sometimes where I'm afraid of XRP, where what if these institutions will just buy into XRP so heavily, where they'll keep it all on their exchanges and just in their pockets, and we can't really utilize it anymore to exchange value. Like, we can't really utilize the real utility because they have too much in just their own pockets purely for, speculating and trading, but not for real usage. I mean, not like trading as in you can use your XRP to send it all over the world. I'm just talking PayPal has it on their platform. You can only use it on there, which to a certain degree would still allow for a ton of use, as you can still buy goods and services with that. But you guys get the idea, right? Not the main Ripple ODL service that we would also like to get. I sometimes worry about that. How would that pan out? Now, of course, a lot of you guys always comment or talk or think even about the fact that one XRP, if a transaction takes 3 seconds, of a, let's say, 100 million XRP transaction, it takes 3 seconds. I don't want to do the math there, but you can do a lot of transactions within 1 day then, especially if you have multiple pieces of XRP or if you have more of that, right? So, yeah, with 1 million XRP, you could definitely make... No, let's just say with the amount of XRP that will be left, you can definitely make billions of dollars worth of transactions every single day, if not trillions. You could actually still do that. And the higher the XRP price goes, which it ultimately has to, will still accommodate then for most likely a ton of money. Because if you start to think about it as well, even the issue I just described, it would just result in more XRP prices, higher XRP prices, which ultimately will lead more money to be transacted over that 3-second period, which will ultimately lead to the same amount of XRP in value being transacted over 1 day. So it's really not going to matter. That's at least another way that I can sometimes view it. S&P Dow Jones Indices builds crypto indexing capabilities with Lucca. The world leading index provider is launching global cryptocurrency asset index capabilities with Lucca, a leading New York-based crypto asset software and data company. S&P DJI will provide S&P DJI branded and customized indexing and benchmarking solutions supported by Lucca's proprietary crypto asset pricing data. As the market for crypto assets has evolved in the recent years, investor interest in benchmarking and index-based solutions based on crypto and blockchain assets has grown and reinforced the need for reliable pricing data. S&P DJI is utilizing a variety of Lucca's aggregated data services, including Lucca Reference Data and Lucca Prime, the world's first fair market value-focused pricing methodology for crypto assets. And the only thing I thought about when reading this is just the innovation and the real world applicability is only increasing every single day that we're talking about it right now. Every time I look up any article or just things here, it just looks like we've already just expanded like 10% or so. It just kind of feels like that every single time I decide to open up the internet here, which to me is also really strange to consider that it's just growing at this massive of a rate. Crazy, right? Crazy. But that's, again, once more, my opinion. Ripple plans aggressive expansion for XRP in 2021, according to General Manager. Ashish Birla states in a new interview that Ripple will aggressively expand its software solutions and XRP in 2021. MoneyGram and Azimo will play an important role as cooperation partners for further adoption of XRP. And the thing you need to know about here is Ripple made a promise a couple of years ago. One of their promises was 2019 is going to be Ripple's year, which, I mean, it kind of wasn't. And they said sorry for that. They made a second promise, though, which was that in 2021, all these corridors were going to be getting fixed. And I kind of feel as if they can't really go back on that statement right now since they already let go of the 2019 statement. So 2021, they're definitely going to have to go for some crazy expansion. And their plans, as of this point, are looking like it. And if some of the ideas that we talked about before of regulation could be coming in, well, I think Ripple's going to grow a lot further and a lot faster than we thought it was. And I don't think Ripple will replace Bitcoin in the next 2 years. I mean, Brad Garlinghouse has actually said that they will stay, Bitcoin again, will stay on top for at least the next 2 years, or at least for the main time. And he's also said an IPO in about 2 years or so, at least. I kind of feel as if Ripple and XRP really can't overtake it just quite yet, but it's coming as they're building for it, and their ultimate goals are to do it. But I don't know for sure. We've also kind of established that even if regulation doesn't come, it's not like it's going to be a boot in the frickin' boat. I don't know what to say, water in the boat for Ripple, as, well, they can just, again, grab a bucket and take some of the water out of the boat, because it's just a little bit of water, as 95% of Ripple's customers are not from the US, and again, it's not going to matter if they get clarified or called a security in the US, because they can just move to another country. So ultimately, it's not really going to matter, which is a very nice thing to be hearing, at least in my opinion. Some others have also commented down below that Ripple and XRP are going more towards casino tokens or stuff like that. I saw a couple of guys claim that type of stuff, and I personally do not think so. I just think that people claim these types of things for the fact that we're getting sort of DeFi right now on XRP, which a lot of people didn't expect. And since a lot of people connect DeFi and, DeFi sort of things to risk, they kind of are also putting it together with gambling. But of course, it's not the truth, it's not objective. But I can see how the connections are being made and why people do such things. So again, I'm not blaming people, but it's not really the truth in my opinion. So once more, I'm also not too worried about that anyway. I know that this is all going to be good. And here was an article. Ripple CEO expects Bitcoin to remain dominant in the coming years. And he said about the 2-year IPO type of thing. He said those both. It was pretty amazing to see how he thinks about these situations, because he is also being a realist. And I like that. On this channel, I've told you guys before, I kind of feel as if I do hype XRP sometimes, more so in titles though than in real speech. But, everything I say I think is within margin. And I do actually believe everything that I say personally as well. And, if I'm saying it, you better understand that I personally am firmly aware of the fact that, it's possible, so to speak. Like, if I say it, it must be possible. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. Like, for example, $100,000 per XRP, I'm just going to flat out say I don't ever see that happening. I don't. All right, even 10,000 per XRP, I don't see that happening in a normal way unless the dollar was completely devalued. Theoretically speaking, in cases like that, it could happen. However, if the dollar is still as dominant as it is right now, XRP is not going to see $10,000 per coin. It just would not make sense. All right, so again, once more, it's also what he says right here. They're using crypto as an inflationary hedge. If our system gets so thrown over and this reset really pulls through and stuff like that and things change, it could be that XRP would really be valued, if you were to calculate it back into dollar, as 10,000 per. But that could also mean because, well, maybe one loaf of bread is ultimately going to be $5,000. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? Where ultimately things are so devalued or so differently, inflation has gone to the moon, where just things are so strange. And I think it has to come, though, because if you think about it, if the U.S. has $27 trillion in debt, if they go for heavy inflation, this debt, of course, becomes less, right, objectively. So yeah, I'm sometimes thinking about whatever can cause this and what can happen ultimately. And I try to share those things, but I don't know if you guys really like them or not. But again, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to enjoy the giveaway. And also check out the Discord link in the description below. A lot of people are talking to this right now, which is pretty damn cool. It's a lot more than we've seen in a very long while, so go ahead and check it out. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.